Hey y'all, Mythica here. Thank you to all my A1 Day 1 subscribers. For anybody new or is just passing through, welcome. We have a few new people, so what we're doing today is a whip and chat, meaning work in progress. Mine is currently a diamond painting, and I am going to chat at you or rant at you about life stuff. So this month's potion is gonna be this one right here, the money potion. Like, y'all, I feel like we could all totally use one of those right now because of all the things that are going on in society. If you know, you know. Hit the like button if you feel like you too could use a money potion. So, Diamond Art Club tray. This is a Diamond Art Club pen. This one is Shimmering Canvas. And then this one is a pen from O'Brien Custom Turning. I have Nick's Notions putty in there. And then my single placers have Twisted Mermaid by Pure Bliss Wax Co. in them, and links to those small shops will be down in the description box below. So, here is the essentially Hot Mess Express. That was my March. So, March got started in a pretty, thank goodness, mundane way, because, like, that first weekend or so in March, I did, like, my usual, what I call cat maintenance. So that's where I go to PetSmart, I pick up 40 pounds of litter, cat food, come home, deep clean the cat fountain, and put a new filter in it. I have one of those cute little Cat Pixie fountains, and then so there's that, there's changing out the filter and all that. Then, you know, deep cleaning the litter box and putting new litter, because some cats will quite literally throw a tantrum and start peeing everywhere if the box is not clean to their standards. So there was that. Then after all of that was done, I meal prep all of my lunches for work, and I had found while doing that the bread tie on my sourdough was not securely fastened, and so I had like almost half a loaf of sourdough bread like be kind of stale and crunchy. So I'm just like, oh no. But then I remembered, oh wait, that's kind of like a happy little accident, because I can use that to make French toast. So I had like French toast all week, and yay, like nothing went to waste. And the rest of the week was like pretty boring, where I just like did a meal prep for lunches and dinners a few days at a time, and then like breakfast, work, make dinner, sleep, repeat. Finally, Thursday night of like that first week in March, I had finally gotten a lot of my chores done. I got myself set up for the month, and I'm like, finally, I can diamond paint. So, since I found out Jaded Jamboree was going to be happening again, I was just like, oh, okay, cool. Maybe I can finish my Usagi City kit. Well, not mine, as in I did it. TRS Gatos is like the actual artist, But you know, like, I have that kit in my stash. I was gonna go do it. And then I, like, roll the canvas out on my desk. I have my storage over here. I have, like, my pens and everything, like, right here, like, kind of how you see now. And then I pour my drills into the boat, squish them around, line them up, dip my pen in there once, pick up 3 drills, put them down on the canvas, and the second that the drills touch the canvas, the entire house goes dark. I kid you not. And I was like, you've got to be blanking kidding me. So, fortunately, I still had cell service, and I call our power company OG&E, and, like, lately, our washer dryer have had some gremlins, and I was doing laundry at the time when the power was going out too. I was just, diamond painting while I was waiting out that timer, and, like, I call the power company and I let them know, I'm not the homeowner. The homeowner is asleep currently, but the lights just went off in the house. Everything is quiet. Like, can you tell me if it's just a me problem? Like, it's just my household, or if it is, like, something bigger. And then, because, like, if something really, really would have been, like, up with the washer dryer, like, there'd be commotion in the house. But all was quiet, so, like, I didn't know. And I called, and the power company was like, it is not just your house. Like, all of the neighborhood is calling in. And I am just like, oh, okay then. And she says that estimated wait time is estimated power storage is gonna be 2 in the morning. And then it was currently like 11:16-ish according to my notes. And then I figure, like, oh, okay. So, since I have that cat at Fountain, I'm, like, not too worried. It's got a emergency reservoir up in the top that'll hold water. So, because it's just a few hours, it's not like my cat's gonna go without for the entire evening. So I figured, like, oh, I'll just go to bed now, and, when lights come back on, I'll get woken up and stuff, and then, we'll have power and everything will be dandy. When I got woken up, because there was power again, it was 5 in the morning. And that was Alex and his dad waking up, finding out that we still didn't have power, and then they switched on the generator. And I just felt so bad, because then it's like, oh, great, well, I'm just, like, hoping that my cat, that Zesty the cat, she slept, because that's kind of like a long time to go without water, and I didn't intend. So first things first, after I go to the bathroom, is I grab a bowl from out the cupboard, I open up a bottle of water, put some in, and then she just starts going to town on the water. And just like, I'm sorry, baby. Later on that morning, Alex's dad said, if you need to go to town for anything before you have to start work, don't go over by this street. There's a few down poles, and you'll need to go use this street instead. And I'm just like, huh. like, I know that we had gusty winds a few days ago, and I would have expected if there was down poles, it would have been a few days ago, not like on the night that was supposed to have been clear. But I guess, sometimes things happen where it's like we have a big windstorm and then the poles are just like hanging on by dear life, and then it just takes one good gust to completely knock them all over. Like, there are legit some that are over, like, a few streets down from us that are just straight up bowed. And I'm just, like, looking at those, like, did the heat do that? Or, like what the heck did that? Who knows? But, yep. Like, so there was downed poles. Thankfully, I didn't have to go into town or anything, but yeah, that was mildly inconvenient. I got to start work late because of that one, and then I had to send in documentation from my power company. And then that all happened Thursday going into Friday. Saturday, so we're talking like March 10th through March 15th now. Saturday, I got allergy shots. Like, I absolutely love Oklahoma Asthma and Allergy Clinic for doing Saturday shots, because not everybody's schedule is conducive to stopping before work or after work in order to get them. And I got my shot Saturday. I was wiped out from that and slept most of the day. And then Sunday, I get groceries. Alex and I get groceries like we usually do. We normally start his laundry right after we bring the groceries in, and I'm setting aside what we're gonna have for brunch or for dinner. The washer is a Maytag front loader, like washer and dryer matching set. They're front loaders. And we put his laundry in, and then it says low flow. And I look to see how close did it get to finishing, and then since it was like within the last half hour, I'm just like, okay, like, we're just gonna turn it off, turn it back on, tell it to drain and spin, and then we'll put it in the dryer. So then after I move it to the dryer, I put it on the usual settings for his laundry, and I noticed that the window on the drum is starting to steam up, and then it makes like this really weird sound, and then it says overheating, and then it shuts down. So then we're just like, what in the world? And we're usually very, very good about cleaning out the lint trap. We had to let it cool down, and then we tried drying his clothes again, and then thankfully that second attempt, everything went fine. And then it was kind of like rinse and repeat, like all week. Eat breakfast, do YouTube stuff, go to work, or log in for work, and then make dinner, go to bed. Rinse and repeat. So then we get to Thursday night again, and then I start doing my laundry. And, so far so good. I'm not having any issues. Like, my load finished in the washer, I put it in the dryer, and then woke up the next morning. We are now March 14. And I'm pretty sure y'all are just like, March 14. Maybe not so much if you live in like other countries, but if you live like in the deep south, March 14 was not a kind day. Because east of us, of Oklahoma City, y'all got like tornadoes and like crazy flooding and stuff. We were behind the cold front, so it was, or behind like the low pressure, so we got the wind from it. And it was crazy winds. Everybody was saying like, oh, it's gonna be like a fire weather day, or it's a red flag warning. And I'm used to seeing those in Phoenix like all the time, and it's something that I, wouldn't pay any mind to, because Phoenix is like, our two power companies over there are so robust that like whenever we have like those crazy Santa Ana winds and all that, we typically don't have to worry about anything, and everybody is usually very, very mindful of that. Everybody like does not mess around with fire weather in Phoenix. And usually everybody over here in Oklahoma is pretty good about that too, but I wasn't expecting any of this type of nonsense to happen. I feel like basically what March 14 was kind of like what the Maui fires were, but on a smaller scale. So how it all started, I was taking phone calls, the wind was kicking up, and I'm just like, Oklahoma, well, like, obviously we get tornadoes, we're no stranger to wind, wasn't even like freaked out or anything, just like as cool as a cucumber, just taking calls. And I was about 5 calls into my shift. I was helping book some guy's group travel because he had some students going to the big robotic thing in Houston. I was trying to get them all squared away, and I had just given him the confirmation number on his group, and I was just about to press that button to send him the contract for it. And I was like going over when he has to deposit and like when he has to pay the remainder, all that good stuff. And then the power goes out. And I was like, you have got to be kidding me. Not again. So I just like sit there and I'm like seeing the wind be all crazy and like swaying the treetops and everything. And I wait, in silence for about like 5 minutes. Everything is just like completely dead quiet, that eerie silence, like something is up. And thankfully, it wasn't just me in the house. Alex's mom was home, and then Alex too was home, because like with all this wind and stuff, the air was super dry, which prompted the fire danger. And because of how dry the air was, he just could not sleep. So 3 out of 4 people were home, and without power, obviously I'm not able to work. But again, still had self-service. So I call in to work. And as I am calling in, I hit the home button on my phone while I've got the call going in my earbuds. And I go onto the OG&E website. And I like pull up their power outage map. And I'm seeing like 5,000 people. And the longer my work keeps me on hold while I'm waiting to speak to somebody and to let them know, I'm not ditching, my power is out. While I'm waiting to have that conversation, I am just seeing this number creep up and up, like every 10 minutes, like it goes up by 10,000 people. And finally, when I, actually get to have the conversation like, hey, I'm in Oklahoma City. We're having a crazy windstorm and our power is off. And it's like half the city. There's almost 20,000 people at this point without power. And when I first started the phone call, it was 5,000. And then uh, the gal who I was speaking with on the phone, she's just like, oh, okay, you're in that. Yeah, just like send us your documentation like last time, we'll get you covered. And I'm just like, okay, cool beans. So then, like whenever we get an update about how long the outage is gonna be, I'm, making sure to screenshot it in my email, and I just have like my camera roll filling up with how many people are out of power and all that, so then I can turn it into my work. And for a while, they said like, oh, it's gonna be restored within a few hours. A few hours goes by, and then they're just like, oh, well, we will get it restored as soon as possible. And like the time frame went away. And at this point, now that I've had the conversation with work, I pull out this exact same diamond painting, The Magical Potions by Nathanael Mortensen, and I just start working it, and I nearly finish. I like started and then nearly finished that luck potion. And then I start like getting really bored, and then I'm just like, you know what? I wonder if there's anything. I wonder if it is an us problem or if it's a problem somewhere else in town. So I go out on the property and I walk up to the tree line right before our property ends, and then like we have our driveway and then the little private road. All of the poles up and down our road are like sticking straight up just as they should be, and not a thing is out of place on our little road. So it's just like, oh, well, it is not an us problem, so it's got to be somewhere else in town. I get back, I start diamond painting some more, and then I hear the EAS sound, and when it's like a power out situation, and then you hear that, like, it's that kind of thing where, like, your blood just runs cold. So, I stop what I'm doing, and I go out into the living room, and I see that Alex's mom, Andrea, has a TV on, and she has it on the news, and they have like that really long like beep, and then they start playing a message saying that there is a wildfire in blah 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 area of town. Folks who live like here, here, and here will need to evacuate and will need to relocate themselves here. And I'm just like, oh goodness, this is for real. And it's, you know, you're kind of, I mean, like, I don't, well, actually, I don't know that this would be true for everybody, but I'm certainly having like that moment of realization where I'm just like, yeah, 2025 has been like such a rough going year so far that like on my worst days, I would catch myself thinking sometimes it would just be better if I could just stand back and just watch it all burn. But then it's like when I'm seeing that on the news and I'm just like, oh goodness, I feel so horrible thinking those thoughts. And I am like I try to be as positive as I possibly can. And I try not to like speak those things out loud because I have been witness to actually having spoken things into existence in more than one occasion. And I am just like, okay. So clearly like, I am very frustrated, but do I want the world to burn literally? No. And then the EAS sounds just keep on coming. I hear, like, oh, this part of town is on fire, and this part of town is on fire. And it's like there was a bad one over by, like Edmond and Guthrie, and then there was one over by Pink, and Pink is like somewhat close but not really. It wasn't going to get us because it was moving due east, not northeast. And then as soon as we heard the EAS go off again, and then they said, oh, Thunderbird Lake, that's not too far from us. That one sent chills down my spine because that's literally like 4 streets over. And then, sorry, looking through my notes because so much happened on that day. So yeah, when I found out, like, oh, it was just about 4 streets over, and then they have like a fire warning box similar to like those polygons that we have for tornadoes. And the polygon for the Thunderbird fire was like 2 streets like from us. And then we started to smell smoke and stuff in the house. Like, we knew that it was coming for us and it was serious. They were having trouble containing it, and then we started to just like ransack the house. We picked like the family photos and stuff, and thankfully I have a fireproof box because of how, close my parents' home was to like desert and how they had wildfires before. Like, me having that fireproof box was just like a necessity for Phoenix, but I'm especially glad now having it in Oklahoma. So I put like all of my important documents in there and stuff, put that in the car. And then I was having that moment where I am just like, wow, I really just have to pick one out of my diamond painting stash. If it is all gonna go, if it's all gonna burn, and I have to start all over again, and it's all, like, really, like, all gonna be gone, I am rescuing this one. Onihime by Margaret Morales. Because I used to main Ari in League of Legends. So, yeah, I can't believe, like, I literally just had to go through just like it would be a bad tornado day and pick the one diamond painting where if it all got wiped out, the one that I would start over with. Put that in the car. Went to my coloring book collection, and I'm just like, man, if I have to start all the way over again, then I am picking you. And then I put that in my backpack along with my meds, and then I did the same thing too with my colored pencils, where it's like, if I have to start all over again, y'all are coming with me. And Alex kind of did the same thing. Since he just finished building his computer, his selection process was actually pretty easy. He like picked his favorite controller. He straight up picked up his tower and put his tower in his car along with his power cord and, laptop, a few other things. He's like, if I'm going to have to start all over, it's going to be with these. And then, I know I'm all laughing about it now, but we were stressed as all get out during the situation. So then after we loaded up our cars, we just waited for evacuation orders thinking that we were next, but the evacuation orders never came. We went back on the news and we saw that they did eventually contain the Thunderbird fire. And after that was shared with us, we all decided to go out to dinner since, the power wasn't back on. And, like, I am still used to life in Phoenix in the regard where if it would have been like a massive power out situation there, kind of like the last thing that you would want to do, maybe not so much in the suburbs because people are fairly nice, but like for the bigger parts of the city, you wouldn't want to leave home unless you absolutely had to, because of like the risk of crime and stuff like that. And that's what I was thinking here too. I was just like, are you sure that's like even gonna be safe here? What if there's looters? What if there's like this, that, and the third? Like all very all very good questions, but I guess I just like do not know the area quite well enough to know that, oh, people over here like out in the farm part of Oklahoma City where we are, um, they're almost all entirely like have that prepper mindset, but they also wouldn't dream of like looting anybody or um like causing any mayhem like people would actually in the city center, which is fabulous. Like that is something that I did not expect over here. Of course, still lock up everything tight. We're not, dumb, but yeah, like the local businesses and everything were just like beyond amazed that we ventured out because they're just like, oh my gosh, like everybody is staying in, like you all are the first customers that we've had like since this morning when everything kicked off. I'm just like, oh, okay, well, um after dinner we came back, power was on, and we were overjoyed. And of course, the first thing that I do is I take the bowl of water off of the floor, fill up the cat fountain, plug it back in. Not even 10 seconds later, Zesty is just like face first into the fountain, completely overjoyed. And then it was like the whole entire rest of the week. Not only did I have like my regular chores, but because of everything, like with the fire and then everything getting ransacked because of that, then I like spent the next couple of weeks just completely decluttering and like cleaning everything up. So yeah, there was that in March, and that was pretty much my month of March in a nutshell. I have about 10 minutes before I have to start work, so I'm gonna end it here. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.